everybody. I decided to do my paper, the option 2, which was improve your interpersonal communications. I decided to do this option because I felt like I could benefit most from doing this option because it would involve me trying to change bad habits and improving a few interpersonal skills. Um, After doing this project, I hope to discover if I could break bad habits and overall just improve the skill to benefit me as well as the other individuals around me. The concepts and theories that I did for my paper, the first one was supportive communication. And supportive communication was the skill that I was hoping to improve. And supportive communication is basically just helping somebody who is grieving and trying to help them cope through the process and overall just benefit them more so than yourself. Another concept that I used was incompetent support. And incompetent support is basically trying to tell somebody who is grieving how they should act, what they should do, and kind of put blame on them. And that's kind of incompetent support is current or what I used to do. Um, I always felt awkward being around somebody who was grieving. And so, because I never knew what to say, and if I did say something, it was kind of always wrong, which is why I really wanted to focus on this skill. Another concept I used was iMessages, and through the use of, I tried to use iMessages in my experiment that I did to kind of to let them know how I was feeling, so they could kind of understand where I was coming from. Another concept was people-oriented listeners, which is a listening style that involves the listener is more focused on the person's emotions more than anything else, and I felt like that was important to include in my experiment to be a people-oriented listener. And then the last concept that I used was encounter avoidance. And encounter avoidance I participated a lot in before this experiment. I would basically just try to avoid the whole situation and the person as a whole to try to so I wouldn't have to address the issue or not so I wouldn't have to feel awkward around them. Let's see. After the experiment that I did, my boyfriend had a experience where his uncle was put into the hospital, and he wasn't really told much about it. But my boyfriend and his uncle were you could consider them pretty close, and so I felt like this was a great time to improve this skill that I wanted to work on, and so I used this time to the best of my advantage. Um, during the experiment I tried to um, first of all, be a people-oriented listener because I felt like that was the most important, and also try not to tell my boyfriend how he should be feeling or what's going to happen next, and I just tried to comfort him and let him talk to me because I felt like I noticed the um, most benefit he got from it is just being able to talk and to explain how he was feeling and not have any feedback coming from me, which is what I usually do. Um, since I was more of a listener and I didn't tell him how to act or what to do, I noticed that he was a lot more comfortable around me and he wanted to talk to me about things where before he kind of just brush it off and keep it in himself because I like to just change how he should act or I like to change this whole situation, which doesn't benefit him at all. Um, Things after this, so like I said before, he became more open with me and wanted to talk to me about things and wanted to address how he was feeling with me, which really made me feel good because then I felt like I was helping him a lot more. Um, let's see, to change from next time, I'm trying to think. The only change that I might make is to have a person giving me outside feedback, have a different person do that. I had my mom giving me outside feedback, so my boyfriend would come over and we would discuss, how he was feeling, and then I would have my mom over here, what was going on. And I think it would have been more beneficial if I would have had somebody giving me outside feedback who was actually in the conversation and was communicating with both of us. Um, this overall experiment, I actually really enjoyed it, and I felt like it really helped me out with something that I've definitely needed to improve. And I'm hoping to take from this, and anytime I encounter somebody who's grieving or somebody who needs just support and sympathy, that I won't encounter avoidance. I won't do that. I'll want to address this situation and try to help them. And also, it really made me realize how important it is to just sit back and let them talk. You don't have to try to change how they're feeling, what they're feeling, or make them think, oh, everything's gonna be okay. Just let them talk through, because that's what, at least for my boyfriend, I found that to be the most beneficial thing that I did. And he had as well told me that he really enjoyed how I just sat back and listened and kind of did a 360 from what I used to do. Um, but other than that, I'm glad I didn't, and I thought I found the experiment to be really successful, and my supportive communication is definitely improved. And bad habits, I'll slowly start to decrease my bad habits and break them and make them into good habits that I can use with anybody who is grieving. So overall, I was a definite success.